Shalom, welcome to the Jewish Task Force JTF. I'm Chaim Ben Pesach. This is a very important video for everyone who cares about the survival of heroic little Israel, because little Israel's survival is in grave jeopardy as never before. And the reason is the leaders of Israel are self-hating traitor Jews who are betraying the Jewish people in the worst possible way. In as little as another month, we may have an international conference held in Annapolis, here in the United States, in which all the world powers will gang up on little Israel, together with the traitor leaders of Israel, to impose upon the people of Israel the surrender of Israel's biblical heartland and the creation of a Muslim terrorist state in the biblical heartland of Israel. Here's the plan that they have for this international conference. They want to have an international conference. Russia, Europe, the United States, the UN, the Arab Muslim Nazi countries will all be there. And they're going to jam down the throats of the people of Israel a plan in which Israel will be forced to go back to the pre-1967 borders that are only 6 to 10 miles wide along Israel's waistline, along Israel's narrow waistline. Can you imagine a nation like Israel with only 5 million Jews, surrounded by 500 million Arab and Iranian Muslim Nazis? 500 million Arab and Iranian Muslim Nazis surround only 5 million Jews. The Arab and Iranian Muslim Nazis that surround Israel and want to destroy Israel and exterminate the Jewish people outnumber the Jews 100 to 1. Now, can you imagine in a situation like that if Israel is pushed back to borders that are only 6 to 10 miles wide? How can she possibly defend herself? The 5 million Israeli Jews will be stuffed like sardines in a sardine can. The country will be indefensible. Every single city and town and home in the land of Israel will be within the artillery range of Arab terrorists, and you'll have an unbearable situation there. Within minutes, in a sneak attack, the Arabs will be able to cut Israel in half and reach the sea. We'll be able to reach from the new border to the Mediterranean Sea. Will be only 6 or 7 miles wide. Within minutes, in a sneak attack, they'll be able to cut Israel in half in borders like that. There is no defense. There's no way to defend yourself in a situation like that. And this is absolute insanity. And Ehud Smolmert and Ehud Barak, the two traitor leaders of Israel, together even with the traitors in the Israeli opposition like Bibi Netanyahu, are all willing to accept this insanity and willing to accept the creation of a PLO, Hamas, Fatah Muslim terrorist state in the heartland of biblical Israel, because Israel has a little territory in Judea and Samaria that she's being told to surrender. Judea and Samaria, which Israel is being told to surrender, is the heartland of biblical Israel. It is the heartland of historic Israel. It has always been the heart and soul of the Jewish people. The Arab Muslim Nazis are demanding another independent Muslim terrorist state there. The Muslim Nazis already have 65 countries. Most of them are huge countries with major oil reserves. They're wealthy, gigantic nations with 1.5 billion people. 65 countries with 1.5 billion people and the majority of the world's oil reserves. And yet they want to pick apart this one tiny little country that the Jews have. The Jews have only one country. The Arab Muslim Nazis and the Muslim Nazis in general have 65 nations. The Jews have one tiny little country. And the Arab Muslim Nazis want to take away this one little country. And the whole world wants to take away from the Jewish people this one little country, the only place in the world that the Jews can call their home and that God gave them as their home. I mean, this is the ultimate act of injustice and evil. This is the ultimate act of evil. The battle between Israel and the Muslim Nazis is the ultimate fight between good and evil. Israel is completely right, and the Arab Muslim Nazis and the Muslim Nazi nations that want to destroy the Jewish people and perpetrate a Holocaust are completely evil and wrong in every way. And the traitor Jew leaders of Israel are willing to surrender and willing to cave in because they're being controlled by foreign powers, by multinational corporations and foreign powers that finance their parties and that literally have them by the neck personally because they're facing indictments and other things because they're all corrupt, the phony, hypocrite, lying, cheating, self-hating leaders of Israel. Now let's understand something when we talk about negotiations here. The Arabs have more than 600 times the land that the Jews have. So to ask the Jews to give up land is the ultimate injustice and insanity. Israel is too small. The Arabs are the ones who should be giving up land. And Israel is the victim of aggression and the victim of terrorism and the victim of Arab murderous violence and wars. Israel is the victim. Israel's the one that has a right to demand land and should be demanding land. If we were in power in Israel, we would be demanding land and tell them to go to hell. Anyone who tells us to give up 1 inch of our historic holy land that God gave to us in the Bible as an eternal inheritance, we would tell them to go straight to hell, which they will go to eventually anyway. But the Muslim religion, which is the religion of the 500 million lunatics that surround Israel, the Muslim religion preaches Dar al-Islam. They will never accept any Jewish state of any size, just as they'll never accept the existence of the United States or Europe or any non-Muslim country anywhere in the world. Their goal in life, their mission in life as Muslims, is to conquer the entire world. That's what jihad means. Jihad means world conquest. It means that the whole world must be Dar al-Islam, under the rule of Islam. All nations that are not Muslim nations, according to the Quran and according to the Hadith, the so-called holy books of the evil religion of Islam, all nations that are not under Islamic rule are called Dar al-Kharb, under the rule, which means under the abode of the sword. You have to use the sword against them. Or that was in the day of Muhammad. He used the sword against anyone who wasn't a Muslim. In the modern day, the modern era, their sword is going to be a nuclear bomb that they're going to be using against American, European, and other Western targets. But there is no way that they will accept the existence of a Jewish state. The idea of negotiations and peace, and we're going to have peace, and this is insane. There will never be peace between Jews and Muslims. Never. When the Messiah comes, he's going to destroy all the evil Muslim Nazis that want to exterminate the Jews and that want to exterminate all decent people in the world. But there will never be peace between Jews and Muslims in this world. Never. These people believe in a religion that is completely intolerant and that preaches Nazi genocide against anyone who's not a Muslim. You can't have peace with people like that. There will never be peace with them. If they don't accept the existence of the United States, if they all want to destroy America, if the Gallup poll showed that 95% of Saudi Muslims agree with Osama bin Laden that America must be destroyed, if they want to destroy the United States of America, how much more so will they never accept the existence of a tiny Jewish country in the middle of the Arab world? Because tiny little Israel is in the middle of the Arab world, in the middle of the Muslim world. And there is no way that Muslims will ever accept that. They will never accept any Israel of any size under any circumstances. They will never accept the right of the Jewish people to their own nation in Israel. Never accept it. There is no chance of that. And God deliberately put little Israel there, smack in the middle of the Muslim world, because God wants to, there's going to be a conflict now between Judaism and Islam. That's what the conflict really is. The conflict is between the Bible and the Quran to show which book is true. Is the Bible true or is the Quran true? That is what the conflict is all about. That is what the conflict is all about in the final analysis. And God is going to use this to prove, just as he proved in the days of Passover to Pharaoh, that he is God. When Pharaoh said, I know not your God, neither will I let Israel go, and Moses proved to him who God is and humbled Pharaoh and humbled mighty Egypt, God is going to use little Israel to show the Muslim Nazis and to show the whole world that he is the king of the universe and that what he says in the Bible is the eternal word and will come true. He brought the Jews back after 2,000 years. Where do you ever see something like this? Hollywood couldn't come up with a story like this. This all came true. You have to be blind not to see this. Little Israel wins wars in 6 days against enemies that outnumber her 100 to 1 and quadruples in size in only 6 days. And all of this is in danger and is jeopardized by these traitor leaders of Israel. This is why we must become a mass movement. The people of Israel are desperate. They're hungry for what we have to offer. Join with us. Help us to reach them. Help us to build a mass movement. Help us to save Israel. Because if we save Israel, we can save, eventually, America and Western civilization as well. Shalom.